everyone. Welcome to Ash News interviews over here. And tonight we are going a long way to Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And with us today we have Jonny, or otherwise known as SkubaDracula. I said that correctly, right? And good to have you here, Jonny. I will just say that I met Jonny in Amsterdam. And the funny thing is that it was one of the guys I was most connected to, but I kind of like missed having an interview with him over there in Amsterdam. For some reason, I don't know, I told him like over the convention all the time, yeah, we're gonna interview in a couple of minutes, don't worry. And like it didn't happen. So I think it's like a compensation for this time. And hello John, it's great to see you again. And how are you?
Indeed, yeah, it's really good to talk to you again, man. I'm great. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that about Amsterdam. I felt so bad because I think I went through 6 interviews that day at the conference, and you were right behind me every time, waiting. Okay, we're gonna have you next, and I'm like, okay. And then somebody else jumped into another interview with me, and next thing you know, it was near the end of the convention. It's like, okay, we'll have to schedule some other time.
Anyway, so but it was a blast in Amsterdam, and I really still remember it was like. Just 1.5 months ago, I think, and over there we got like here at our Ish News, we got like an inspiration for a whole new thing over there. And since we got back, we got a few like interviews. We got like new projects going on. And yesterday we actually started our weekly program of Ish News, our weekly update, which comes out of about 2 hours of a program about like updates relating to Israeli flat Earth subjects, and it's also like highly recommended for you to see as well.
Is that your YouTube, or is that on like a .com?
No, it's on the YouTube channel of Ash News, and also like on our Facebook group.
Those are your main platforms, then?
Yeah. We have those main platforms over here since we got back, and I don't know. Life is good, I think. How's yours since Amsterdam?
It's good. Yeah, I mean, so after Amsterdam, I ended up driving to South Carolina, USA. It was about a 15-hour drive from me for the Flattoberfest. It was a great event. We had all kinds of cool people there. Bob Nodell was there, and Cammy, and the big some of the big names, Rob Skiba, Joshua from Authentic Intent. Is a lot of really good names were there. It was nice to meet all those people. So that was my next event, almost 2 weeks after, I think, from Amsterdam. I drove down there. It was really fun.
You came there as a participant, or you had some kind of like
just a participant. Yeah. I kind of just went, and Mark Sargent was there as well, and Karen B. And it was just had a few drinks, hung out with everybody. It was kind of once you start doing these meetups and conventions, you get kind of hooked, and if you can make it, it's addicting, right? I just had a meetup last night too. Yesterday I set up a meetup here in Ontario, so we had a bunch of us all get together as well, and then I'm off to Dallas actually in a couple days for the big convention.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure you're gonna tell us about this pretty soon. From what you mentioned earlier, this was my feeling as well once I got to do the Flat Earth convention, because suddenly I found out that I'm surrounded by flat earthers, and they're all like interesting people, and once you start talking with them, it's kind of like it's hard to stop talking, and I think that. This is one of the things that inspired me to do these things that we're doing over here, those interviews. I told myself, okay, I need to get some more talking time with those people, and I'm glad that we're doing that.
You got a connection now, right? You're in.
Yeah, the connection, whatever. Just getting to know the people, because they have the important things to say, and each and every one has a specific field that is more interested and every talk is makes you more like developed your horizon, your whatever. And so tell us a little bit about yourself, what you are getting involved with. Beside, as I saw you in Amsterdam, for me you looked like the ultimate activist, whatever. But let's talk about this a little bit later. Tell me a little bit about your main interest in flat Earth. What is the thing that most like appealing to you? What you more like watch movies by your own and getting your own perspective on?
I guess in flat Earth, I piqued my curiosity when I was always kind of wanting to know the truth about things, and always been, kind of anti-government kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell into flat Earth just from going through conversations with friends. Had been talking about nutrition and corruption in the industry with the medicine and everything, and stumbled upon me, and then I was like, okay, I have to check it out, and I looked it up, and then 10 hours later of YouTube videos, I was pretty much convinced, and I already had kind of questions before it, never put two and two together. And then with flat Earth, I mean, it's not one specific area I would say it interests me. The whole thing is just what is truth, I think. And once you start to discover the shape of the Earth and everything is connected, we are unique, and there is creation, we are all intelligently designed. Those types of things really correlate well with everything in life with me now, and my whole perspective has changed. I'm still always looking for what's next, and just trying to figure out truth, really, right? I'm also very passionate about helping others see this as well, right? Because the more of us wake up all over the world, the more we're going to start to see some action, right? I mean, as yourselves, you're far away from me, but you got a lot of people waking up there, and all kinds of people waking up in Brazil right now. I mean, and all over, and there's who knows what's going on with. I mean, there was all that stuff in Hong Kong going on, and people are protesting left and right, like not flat Earth in Hong Kong, but there was like millions of people protesting in the summer there. So it's just it's an interesting time.
It's like a bigger thing than flat Earth. You're saying it's like a whole kind of like a movement that starts to open up their eyes and doing that kind of like simultaneously over the world. You're saying.
Yeah, I think exactly. I think it's kind of like a consciousness is waking up within, and people are just getting fed up with all the corruption in the world and things that aren't right, and I think in all these different compartments, and which flat Earth may be very much a foundation of conspiracy, if you want to call it that, but it's definitely an eye opener to to open all those other doors of the chemtrails, the vaccines, the fluoridated water, which are all the things I've always kind of been well aware of, and then when I fell into the flat Earth, it was just like, okay, this is just like the missing piece of the puzzle that I've been waiting for, kind of thing. And now I feel, as an activist, I feel that's my part to play in flat Earth. Is I just, I don't claim to be the most articulated type of person or anything. I just claim to be, a passionate person who cares for truth. And any way I can do that to help others is the way I feel I'm going to be suited in this movement.
Let's start off that you're a redhead, so it gives you at least a good place to start with, like motivation and enthusiasm and all of that.
Well, I would say I'm more blonde, I guess, but I do have the reddish hair, red kind of here, and then the blonde on top. A ginger type, I suppose you can call me.
Pretty much. Good. Anyway, I'm showing now your
police came.
I know
Police came.
Selected scenes from Amsterdam, from the police came with the flag over there and whatever.
Jonny, tell us how long you're standing here.
It looks to me like
Jonny,
you're,
how long you're standing here?
Shining
Today?
moment.
Yeah,
So
got here.
you
Alright.
standing over there.
Going good so far?
Also the train station with the
Going good so
flag
far?
and
Yeah, great.
I don't know. You look like right in the right place for you.
I definitely, that's cool to see it. Yeah, I definitely felt like it was my place, and I definitely had my 5 minutes of fame there with a lot of the channels, like Jaronism. He gave me like a whole shout out for like 10 minutes on his show. It was pretty cool. It was really nice of him to trying to get my subscribers up so I can go live in a sense, right? But aside from that, no, I felt in place, like I was doing my part, even though I was kind of out in the rain. But people had to be drawn into that. Under that shelter there, right? Because it was raining pretty much the whole time we were in Amsterdam, and there was like when we first showed up, I was looking around like we're gonna get wet here. So I seen that area. I'm like, I kind of picked it. I'm like, let's try this out. If it works, it works. And we were lucky because the people between the police and the train station security, they didn't know whose jurisdiction it was, so they couldn't really do anything. Thanks to Jason from the Globe Live Tour, he knew how to handle them, and he knew that they just didn't know how to deal with it properly. So we got away with staying there. But aside from that, we were all kind of still tucked away in the back there. So I felt I had my flag and I was just up in the front there, kind of drawing people in, right? And it definitely worked, right? I didn't actually get as much as myself wording in with people, like having conversations, because I was kind of just up front, more reeling them in, right, and then letting them knock them out, kind of thing, flat smack them, I should say. Yeah, it felt good though. I felt good. It was a moment to remember that whole venture.
I don't know. It was kind of like a patriotic sense in whatever patriotic means in flat Earth. I don't know.
Yeah, really, right?
We don't really have a country, right? Anyway, so anyway, about as I saw you over there doing, and for myself, it was like. One of my first activism, whatever acts in Flat Earth in that rainy afternoon in Amsterdam. I believe that you have a lot more experience in that, and because in me in particular, I have a feeling that in Israel people do not the flat earthers in Israel are good with talking on shows and during the movies and stuff like that. But regarding the part of the activism, I feel that although Israel is a passionate country, we don't have it in our blood to go out to the streets or to do this thing on the real life, as you said. Okay. Tell me if you got more experience with that, and what's the inner fire that motivates people to do that?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely took me a little while to build the courage up to go out on my own. Like I do my own setups here in Hamilton and Ontario area. I'll go out and I'll just set up a booth and by myself. But at first, I used to actually. I would try and get people to come up with me, and then it just didn't seem to work. People are not motivated or not ready, at least. And it still is hard to get people motivated to get out there and do this because it's not for everyone, right? And what motivates me is, again, it takes a certain kind of person to want to do it. I think you get passionate enough, but also not afraid of ridicule. I've dealt with the cards I've been handed in life, and I'm not afraid to put myself out there, right? And then I think that's essentially what it is having the courage to just face the facts. Essentially, right. We don't live on a spinning globe, and if to wake people up, essentially, with flat Earth, I mean, no matter what situation you find yourself in a conversation, you always have the winning hand because we know we don't live on a spinning ball, and no matter which way you go about it, you can always come back to the facts, the basics, observational facts, right? You'll get a bunch of presupposition, you'll get a bunch of logical fallacy people's going to put out there, but as long as you study enough and you have enough in the back of your mind to defend it, and I think you'd be fine. Essentially, it's just getting out there the first few times and getting comfortable, because even when once you first do it, you'll realize you're gonna get the same questions. Where's the edge? Planets are round. All this nonsense. Ships go over the horizon. I've had these questions at least 1,000 times. And so it's it just becomes knocking them out of the park one after one, and then you just once you realize how repetitive it is, that people are just regurgitating these implanted thoughts, I believe it is. It's it gets a lot easier. And so, I mean, facing people on the street, I'm not sure about in Israel specifically, but anywhere, I think people are just on their day-to-day zombie way of life, and if you can strike a conversation with them and just open the door to even any kind of conspiracy with them to start off, might help other people to get out there and do so. But I mean, myself, again, I just put myself out there, and I kind of just try and welcome people in. But you also have to, or if you want to get more attraction and more conversations, you do have to start to engage with people. You have to. So if you watch some of my videos I did when we were in Greenville, South Carolina, a couple weeks ago, we set up 5 of us doing activism, but we had a setup. But then also I was walking around handing pamphlets and just encouraging people to say, hey, have you ever scrutinized the globe, or you ever heard about flat Earth, blah blah blah. Just trying to engage in a conversation with them. And of course, you're going to get people who are rude. You're going to get people who are just going to walk past you and not acknowledge you. But you're going to also get people who are curious because they've heard of flat Earth, and most people have. And I think we're already in the midst of the ridicule stage. Some people don't even think we're there yet, but I mean, with all this, I think people are completely desensitized to discovering the truth in flat Earth, right? Because there's all this nonsense about it and disinformation. So they need interactions. They need to talk to people in real life, and that's where I feel activism is an important thing, because we also have people who do stuff online like yourselves and other popular YouTube channels and online stuff like journalism, Globebusters, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. All these top types of things help, but we all have that role. So on the street or online, we have to be able to point each other and cooperate with everything, right? So to be able to make it work for yourself, I think it's just getting comfortable. And like for me, again, it's just to get where I get my courage from is just wanting the truth, and I feel it's in my blood to pass it on, the information, any way I can.
Yeah, I got like a few things to react on what you said. First of all, I think throughout your words, I kind of like understood why Israelis don't like activism over the street. Because we've been into the army for like 3 years, we're enough with like action and thrill life, whatever. People had enough with that, like in the army and in their everyday life, whatever. And and also like people over here can argue on anything. Like the basic thing is like politics, but about religion, about whatever you want. You're saying that you put like two Jewish people inside the room, you get like 4 different opinions. Okay, meaning like we are inside ourselves, inside of in our single even like body are like divided, and if you put also like the flat Earth into this equation, okay, over in the street, so mayhem is gonna erupt. But this is what we want eventually. So we're getting.
But is it so scary though? I mean, right? Like, I mean, it's just simply asking somebody to think about where they live, right? I understand that it's a lot more hostile environment, and you guys have gone through a lot of. Action, I suppose, right? So I can see what you're saying. I mean, when it comes down to like religion, again, like the globe itself is a religion, right? So I just try and break it down and to what the flat Earth is. Essentially, it's what we experience. It's an observation. It's not a belief, right? So I just wanted to bring that down to that, essentially, with people with different. It's not really an opinion. It's actually everyone has their own opinion, of course, but it's what we observe. It's what we experience, right? Just to bring it down to that.
The thing is that Israel is a very difficult country regarding the differences between people, okay? Because there's like, it's a country of immigrants that they came from all parts of the world, and they have to get along with each other, with other nations that are over here, and it's very stressful. I guess it's kind of like our destiny in some way, at least from my perspective. And one other thing I want to say about this activism, I for myself, I learned media, and I remember in my studies we always talked about some kind of like someone who gives the message, someone who receives the message, and like the message which is in the middle. Now the medium, okay, the one that you choose, the medium that you choose in order to put through the message is very important, because as you take more like a distant medium, the chances that the effect of the message will be like a lower effect. For instance, if you like talk to someone on the telephone, or if you talk with someone on the WhatsApp or something like that, then it's like your message is like it's lower, it's like weaker. Now, if you meeting, the best way of communication is to meet people eye to eye and speak with them like directly, without any kind of like medium in the middle, and then your message is like the strongest, I think. So this is why activism on the street, meeting the people, I think it's like the best thing the best way to put through the message.
I agree, because you can hear the tone of somebody's voice. You can feel the vibrations, what they're resonating. You can because there's a lot more of this world that we don't even comprehend. We're just taught to ignore, and all of our senses. But when you're having a conversation with somebody, you have a mental connection as well, and in a line of sight with somebody, you can really see the passion, the truth, or whatever it is, the conversations, wherever it's going. It's definitely, I would agree 100%. One-on-one, face-to-face is the best way to communicate these these examples of where we live and anything, because people can easily become a different personality online. Everybody's a keyboard warrior, right? Or you can hide who you really are in a sense. But when it comes to face, people aren't going to be shooting their mouth off and being as rude as they would face to face, because there could be repercussions to those, right? If somebody's saying a certain thing or being insulting or whatever, right? So yeah, definitely I would agree. It is very important.
And tell me one other way of activism, as I saw it, is people, flat earthers sometimes go to places, put on stickers on things. I saw lately someone posted that he put a sticker in a toy store, on children's NASA toys or something like that.
And under the globe.
Yeah, all kinds of activism like that. I don't know, putting signs on the street, like you standing with the flag, whatever, do graffiti. Are those the things that are actually work? They do? Are they? Do they have an impact? Actually on the
I think so. Like myself, again, I'm not shy to show these types of things. I wear shirts all the time, flat earth activism shirts wherever I go. Sometimes I get questions from people, or I even just when I order, say you order a coffee at Starbucks or something, put your name as flat earth or whatever, or throw it in there in every kind of conversation. But the stickers as well, like my whole truck, the whole cap of the back of my pickup truck is I got all flat earth stickers, research flat earth. So everywhere I drive, when I'm in traffic, people are seeing that, right? And that's part of activism. If you go in stores, you got to watch sometimes in shelves where you put stickers because they'll take it down, but you can easily do it. You can slip them inside, say like flat earth cards or pamphlets inside books in the bookstores, or in little places, even in hotels. You can slip them in the Bible. You can put them in little places in the behind things, or anywhere somebody's going to find it or stumble upon it. But even stickers on bus stops, or little things like this, stickers, pamphlets, cards, you leave them lying around certain places. When I was doing activism in Greenville, it's really funny. One of the guys, his name's Critical Inception, Alex, he had got these little, they're $100 American dollar bills, look like $100 bills, but it's actually, so you leave it on the ground, somebody goes to pick it up, and it says research flat earth right under it. So it's just like a little bit of a teaser to make them grab it, get them thinking. There's all kinds of ways to do this, right? There's also activism you can do with, say, your Wi-Fi signal on your phones or your home Wi-Fi. If you use Wi-Fi, I personally don't use it, but you can set it to flat Earth, or research this, or Earth's not a globe, whatever. You can just leave little messages, Another way to do it. What I had been doing lately is I use, I don't know if you have Kijiji there to that where you guys are, but Kijiji is like a place where we sell things. Here, and it's all over North America. And so what I do is I put like an ad on Kijiji, just in a blog area, just saying about flat Earth information. Contact me here, right? So people go in looking for stuff or whatever, and they may stumble upon it there, right? So anywhere you can, any online or stickers or and just those are ways that people can do it who don't want to interact with people as much too. Is just write some stuff up, put it out there online, but also if you don't want your name associated with it, or just like you said, the stickers on things in the stores, or any little way, slipping them in books, cards, and pamphlets. I think that's a great way to do activism. If you're in a place like in the bathroom stall or something as well, a sticker right there and the shitter behind the door is a good spot for it, right?
I guess experience got to do with it, right?
Yeah, exactly. You just find any little way, anywhere you find, your heart will tell you. It'll tell you where. But when you're doing it, and you're like, and because once you start doing it, you start to think more. Okay, where can I do it? Where can I put something, right? And they'll just come to you when you're in those areas. Like, oh, that's probably a good spot to put it. So then do it, right? If you have it, put some stuff there. Even if say if I don't recommend graffitiing things, but if there's already a bunch of graffiti on a place or or something like that, then yeah, maybe just write it on there, right?
Yeah.
Or on somebody's car window, if their car is dirty or something, I do it on my truck, and I have to work construction, and it gets really muddy in the back. So I'll just with my finger write out stuff on the windows, So you can do it on people's cars, just for a joke. You're not vandalizing anything, right? Or even leave a pamphlet under their windshield wiper, something like that. I wouldn't recommend that way so much. Or even go in people's mailboxes, right? What's that?
I'm sorry that I'm not a teenager again. That I used to be in my face. That I used to draw on tables and scratch them with like rulers, iron rulers like that, and with T-Pex, or all kinds of like creations like that. If I would knew flat Earth back then, it could be useful, I guess. And
Yeah. Yeah, I guess outdoor picnic tables and stuff, you can get away with scratching it in there because you're not really, it's already probably a bunch of carving. It's just wood that's a table outside, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, again, I would say with this kind of stuff, be respectful toward other properties and stuff. But I mean, if there's obviously some kind of areas that you can, it's obvious that it's accepted or already been there, then I don't see it being a big deal to throw a little hint of flat Earth in there. Why not, right? I see it actually all over Ontario. Certain places, some people do where there's graffiti and stuff. Or they'll put signs up over road pathways and stuff like that. Even for instance, like I'm a musician and stuff, and when we have shows, so what we'll do is we'll make a flyer and we'll staple it or tape it to one of the light posts around the city as well. So you could easily make little pamphlets or flyers on paper, print them out, just whatever basic information you find that would help, and you just little hints or tape them around the poles or staple it. I don't know if it's wood or concrete poles you have for your lighting out there, but yes, you know what I mean? Just simple things like that. You in between the traffic lights, you can just boom, tape it to the pole where people are going to see it, right? It'll probably get taken down eventually, but it'll be seen by probably hundreds of eyes before it does, right? And just imagine how many people see all those little things that you put. And I think it's partly as well, like we were saying, consciously, the truth movement is spreading just for whatever reasons, like whichever topics. But I think as well as spreading the information out through activism and cards and pamphlets and stuff is also a part of that. That you're basically planting seeds everywhere, and I think truth finds the person. Truth is for those who seek it, and with people with eyes to see, they're gonna stumble upon it. They're gonna be meant to see that. I think so. Like you can't just tell somebody there's just flat. You can open their mind to it, and if they're willing to investigate, then they're gonna further down that way, right? But it's just one of those things. I think the universe speaks to us on many levels, right? It totally does. Like, as soon as I went into flat Earth and started questioning, like over about 6 years now, looking into the truth of things, I find that I've been having all this synchronicity that the universe is constantly speaking back to me, showing me things, right? Because I'm looking, and it's like I'm getting like weird numbers popping up. Getting, I say something, all of a sudden hear that on the radio when it's exactly what I'm saying, or I'm looking for something, and boom, the video pops up on YouTube.
My sign was actually it's a thing that it's kind of like a phenomena that I encountered with all flat earthers. They told me the same thing. For me, when I discovered flat Earth and I wanted to be like more involved with that, I told myself, hey, just a second, what I want to do? I want to do like TV shows, whatever. And suddenly I noticed that everything that I learned in my life, everything that I have been occupied with my job, with studies, with whatever, kind of like led me to that moment that I will find flat Earth and will take advantage of all the skills that I gained till that moment. Okay, that it was kind of like intentional that I will learn those things in life specifically for that moment that I will discover flat Earth, and I can eventually use all of them together. This is at least my feeling, and I got this from other flat earthers as well.
Yeah, almost like you're meant to find it. You're meant to learn it, right? Yeah.
I was meant to learn like things, like skills that now are helping me when I'm like involved with flat Earth. Okay?
Yeah.
And
don't you learn so much more too, right? Like, I mean, when I first started looking into the truth in general, and again, I started kind of more looking into nutrition and understanding plant-based diets and the importance of well-balanced pH water and stuff like this that the body needs naturally, holistically. And, I just found that, okay, I'm learning, and I found this helped me in flat Earth because I've also helped a lot of people who are seeking truth and health in flat Earth because I already kind of learned about that prior to flat Earth, right? And then I don't claim to be a professional in any of that, but I definitely did my research to learn what's good for the body, what's not. And so in just opening those doors, like you said, you feel like it did you justice for the things you're now forwarding into. But even so, into flat Earth and this awakening, I find like I'm just learning, always learning more and more. Like I feel it's an eye opener, but it's also a mind opener. Absolutely, right?
Yeah. For me personally, I'm playing in the application of Clash Royale. You know Clash Royale, the application, the game.
No, I can't say I do.
No, it's like a stupid game of like strategy and stuff like that. But I'm like found over there like a clan of Flat Earth clan. So I'm
Oh, nice.
my goal now is like to be the head of this clan in
Okay.
the game, and I will fulfill myself that way, I guess.
That's good. I like strategy games myself. I'm not really big on video games, but I like playing a lot of chess. I'm a big chess guy, so chess has also I think helped me into this as well because I think I like to think strategically. And I started off as a young lad playing games like Stratego and chess. Those are
Yeah.
the games that really got me into thinking strategically. And now when I think in chess, I'm always trying to think what can I do next?
Mhm.
What's the next move? What can I help? What can I do to help this work? Right?
By the way, I played Risk not a long time ago. You know Risk, the one of the
Yeah,
board.
yeah. Risk is a similar kind of
Yeah,
strategizing game.
and I noticed that it's like talking about regular map world, wrong map, whatever. And I told myself, come on, you need to like do this game
Make flat Earth
on a
one.
flat Earth map. Yeah, it's gonna, it's like it will be totally different, like way of acting because I played the Risk also like in different maps and it
Okay.
changes all the time. Like when you
So,
change the
so, so you
map.
can, so you can make a headline basically like take a risk, play on the flat Earth.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, just need to and ask people to buy this,
Yeah,
and
exactly right.
yeah,
Any little things we can do, games or any little memes, stuff like this that help. Like I would say, gaming is a good way, and apps that can help people learn. Like David Weiss from Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, he has that sun and moon
yeah,
zodiac
yeah.
clock, right? And that's a great app for people to learn, right? And he's making a little bit of money off of it. I mean, it's not that expensive. He puts that money right back into the community.
Mhm.
So it's a win-win
It's a good
situation,
cause,
I
yeah.
think. And the map is full of
I'm
daily videos. It's
putting out all
great.
the time when I'm like starting to earth smack, flat smack people. I'm like pulling out my phone and I'm like explaining them. Yeah, this is the earth or whatever. It's quite useful, of course. Tell me.
And it correlates so well with our observations, right? I mean,
Sure.
it's so obvious when you see the sun is local, the moon is local. Like these things are just so obviously local and much smaller, and the way planes fly, it all makes sense. Yeah, so that the mapping, the proper map, which again is not accurate, we all know that, but it's closest that we can find that matches our observations, right? So yeah, it's definitely helps put the flat Earth into perspective, having that on hand visual for people.
Let's say I go to another subject a little bit. When I met you in Amsterdam, I saw you told me like briefly, if I remember correctly, that you are into researching Tesla's work and energy and free energy things like that, if I remember correctly. And I want you to tell us a little bit about your interest in that particular field and enrich us a little bit because. Over here in Israel, it's not really not many people see the connection between those things, flat Earth and free energy, maybe alchemy, those kind of things. But I personally think it's very interesting. Tell me your perception about that.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I've been into Tesla for a long time, mostly over the last 10 years, and he's actually has a connection to where I live because Tesla was originally he harnessed the hydroelectric dam from Niagara Falls, and that here in Hamilton, where I am, was the first city in Canada to be fully electrified from the hydroelectric dam, aside from New York. So, and we actually had a bunch of locals here, Serbian community, who had paid out of their own pockets and through festivals to support Tesla. We have a Tesla festival every year.
Oh, really?
In the last 3-4 years now, it's been going on. But they had paid to have a street named after him. People were fighting to have a school named after him, but of course they didn't do it, which is I think for obvious reasons. They're trying to hide him, right? In school we didn't learn about Tesla. We learned about Einstein, who did nothing. Tesla has over 700 patents that we use to this day.
Yeah.
Everything we have, like our phone, our radio waves, all this technology, we have to thank to Tesla, and he never even got a Nobel Prize, right? Go figure.
Although Einstein was Jewish, we also like have a big issue with him. Don't worry.
Wait, who? Oh, Einstein?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, it was.
Yeah,
It
good.
was actually nominated to be the first president of Israel. In when
Really?
Israel was established, we have like a prime minister, which is like the leading, the leader. I don't know, the operating figure, and we got the president, which is more like the formal figure, like let's say the queen, whatever. The queen in England is still your queen as well, right? In Canada, right?
Yeah, I mean we don't really worship her like England does, but UK, yeah, essentially apparently owns Canada, right? We follow under the UK.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
we're still like America's little brother. I think like it's just ridiculous how America and Canada are basically the same, but it's like they feel like they're higher uppers in America. It's kind of funny, but yeah, people worship these people, and that would have been hilarious if he was worshipped like that back then.
The thing is that so they thought of who to pick to be president for Israel the first time, and from some reason they kind of like insisted that they will pick up a scientist. So yeah, indeed. And so the first one they got to was Albert Einstein, and once he refused, they approached to Chaim Weizmann. Chaim Weizmann, and he was the first president. And he actually came to my hometown of Rehovot to live in. Okay, see the hilarious point, the hilarious thing. They picked up a guy that wasn't even in Israel when it was established, and wasn't even living in Israel. And they picked him and brought him over to be like a president over here. And he's the one who's like is known for his scientific achievements, mainly for inventing, get these, chemical weapons on World War I for the British. Okay,
Of course.
And he formed the Ziv Institute, which later on became the Weizmann Institute here in Rehovot, which is the most scientific place like in Israel. Like it's considered the showcase of science in Israel. And we actually we have a big story about it, a big conspiracy story that we started to investigate lately. And if you check out on my YouTube channel, there is a promo of a thing called the Secrets of Isaac's Well. And it's a very interesting story about how an ancient well of Isaac from the Bible kind of like maybe still existed today in my city of Rehovot, in exactly where this Chaim Weizmann dude used to live. Okay? It's kind of like a weird story, and we are soon to be like published about it. And you're welcome to check out the YouTube channel, but you will see that in the history of Israel, also like regarding the Zionism, there's a lot of like weird and creepy stuff when you started to get science into it. Okay, and you can see like a very intentional. I don't know, moves that you see that they bringing people that are scientists, that their full intention is to put science inside Israel, and it happened like that throughout the last 100 years of history over here. And
Sounds similar over here.
yeah, but over here
Science is your god.
yeah, but it's like over here we are like we see ourselves as like the Holy Land, a place which is very spiritual, a place that people are being connected spiritually. And once you're starting in kind of like a foreign way, like kind of like a artificial way to put science inside it, it looks strange. Okay, and
I mean, those things have been colliding for many years, I think, throughout the world, right? It just depends on how many people let go of their foundation and beliefs, and then science kind of corrupts the whole world in any angle.
Yeah, but over here in Israel, you can feel that it's happening. Is that the science is doing is very initial thought, okay, initial action that he's doing all the time. Over in Israel, you can feel like he's doing it intentionally to just hide God, okay?
Right.
Just to hide God.
Right. Which is very much, I think, the same here, because they control the left, they control the right. Like I think they can completely control religion as they do control science, and people, if they're going to go from one, they're going to go to the other. But yeah, you can definitely. I can't say the same, but I mean, it's definitely that feeling of they're always pushing science on the TV and the shows and the movies, all over the media. It's always, and especially stuff like NASA or anything going on. And yeah, I definitely feel you there. That impact is here as well. I mean, it's that control mechanism over everybody to keep you separated from your creator, to keep you spiritually, separated, to keep like that again, like we are talking about, like with anything to do with alchemy or the things that Tesla himself were trying to do for people, was to connect you to the earth, to the universe. And he understood very much that the earth is an electrical universe that we live in, and so many things should be for free. And that's real science. That's where science had that turning point, is when guys like Tesla were just faded out and kind of buried, and Einstein comes in and tries to abolish ether and basically say, okay, that proves gravity, which is doesn't prove anything. Actually, it's just a bunch of mathematics. So yeah, the science just kind of comes in and
Talk to me
trying
about
to don't look over here, look over here, right?
Yeah, talk to me about alchemy. What is that got to do with flat Earth, with Tesla? What is it? Because from I think the general public or something, or someone who's not didn't do any research or whatever, you just think that, oh, alchemy, it's kind of like a fairy tale of about turning things into gold or something like that, but it's things which is a lot more, let's say, real and let's say meaningful, okay, than what you think of, right?
I'm exactly. I'm not the most familiar with the whole history of it, but I definitely, and I use it my own way and how I learn with anything, like spiritually believing in something essentially, but also like power of intention. This is how I look at it, is, the will to do something, you have to first want it, you have to focus enough on it. And there's so much energy in this world, and we ourselves manifest our destiny. Like I truly believe in manifest destiny, and as my reality, as of all of our reality, I believe that is what creation is, essentially, that we are creating the path ahead of us. So with alchemy, with things that you want to do, that you want to success and you want to be successful, I should say, you're essentially going to focus your energy into that, right? It's almost like you're making it happen in the moment with thought, with energy, and to me, that's how it resonates with me. And it's as simple as believing in something, right? Dreaming for something to come true, but to also have faith and study. Lean toward, I should say, the goals you have. But like, for instance, some people, like one of the guys I know, Good Times for All, Zach Zabala, he was in, I met him in South Carolina. He's right into the alchemy, and he's been trying to grow his hair back, and he showed me his hair is starting to grow back now, because he's focused and just, it's just an interesting thing. I mean, you can write it off any way you want, but I think if you want to heal yourself within many, and that's I think where it's best suited is for healing yourself, is to focus, to believe in yourself, to believe within the powers of the universe.
And you might think that these are things that once in the past were known, and today they're trying to hide it from us from all kinds of reasons.
Absolutely. I mean, they're obviously hiding so much from us, like especially with diseases and things going on in the world. Like, they're just trying to inject you with vaccines and weaken your immune system, because our bodies are working machines, right? They're naturally able to heal themselves. And so with, when they're constantly beating our immune systems down and telling us we need science rather than rely on our own holistic methods. And part of holistic healing is spiritual as well. It's mental, right? You have to believe you can heal yourself. You have to believe just as much as you need to help your body function properly by giving it proper organic plant-based foods and things, and not overeating in meats and junk food, sugars, and intoxicating ourselves with chemicals. And we all have our vices, but I mean, understanding to do it in moderation is very important, especially understanding the leading killing things like cancer and that is meats and prescription drugs. And so we just need to make sure we're more responsible with those. But I mean, as far as like essentially, yeah, healing it's all believing, I think, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I can totally agree with that. I've been through rough times myself with like health things, and the thing that got me back on my feet was, of course, I think just connection with the universe, and just to to understand the universe better. And I think that part of my illness was when I was I was in bad shape was because I don't know, people were telling me lies, and I kind of like felt it. Okay, I kind of like felt it. I couldn't really put my finger on what is the lie, this is where like disease come from. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, and it's
Mhm.
with all that. Yeah, it's like I feel you can also, even with flat earth or discovering certain truths, like some people can find themselves in a depressive state in life in general, but you come into flat earth, some people are also like, to bring it back up, to talk afraid to talk about flat earth because you might lose all your friends, like, and you definitely discover who your real friends are when you open that door and you talk openly and vocally about flat earth and stuff. And you can find yourself kind of getting into a depressive state, but depression it's all in the head, and it's all about how we see things. I believe it is. I don't believe you need to take a drug for that, because it's obviously not healthy. You can do microdosing on psilocybin kind of things. Magic mushrooms have been well known to help cure depressions and also our mental states and motivations in life. Take a good $5,000 trip and just enjoy yourself one day by yourself. And telling your life will change. You'll be motivated for the rest of the week. But if you start microdosing like a half a gram every fourth day, these things actually really help change your thought patterns, help motivate your life. It's been well known to do this with LSD as well, but more natural things I would say to stick to for depression states. But again, it's that mindset of just believing and having faith that you're in the right place, you're doing the right things, right? When people fall into a depressive state, is because they're allowing themselves to be influenced by media, by friends, their appearance in life, and we have to be able to let go of those things in order to see further in the future. I think myself, that's my opinion with those kinds of states of mind, because when we open the door to all this stuff, we can easily fall victim of certain things. Socialism specifically, that's one of the biggest issues. Like the Facebook and social media in general is just nothing but depressing for people, because it's misleading.
I think that there are like lots of like I don't know, institutes and I don't know, parts of the it's altogether it's called the state, okay, but things like areas of fields of life like let's say politics, science, religion, media, maybe legal stuff, I don't know. Those are all kinds of people that came up, and they're telling you this is reality. You as a simple person, you shouldn't like be able to understand this reality. So we will mediate this reality to you, and and trust us. We will do a fine job. We won't lie to you, and trust us, and we will present you the reality as it is. Okay. And the thing is that everybody, each one of them are telling something different, but everyone is like there's no reason for them to exist, okay? Because you can approach reality yourself, you can approach God yourself, and you can be creative by yourself. So
I find myself constantly also asking, what is reality? Now that we've been awake to so many new things, right?
Yeah.
I've always been spiritual in the sense of astrologically and believing in the stars, the alignments, and who I am and where in my chart, zodiac sign, but also like dreams and different realms. I'm a full believer in that there's multi dimensions within our universe, and that we exist in many of them. Like when we dream, to me, dreaming is like stepping into the matrix in a sense. Like I do believe there's so much more reality to our dreams, and it can also correlate to this reality, this earth realm. Because you plan, you dream, you make things happen, you manifest it in these realms, right? And I'm a full believer in that. But we don't just exist here; we exist on many levels. Your thoughts, your feelings, they also exist on higher dimensions, like fifth and sixth dimensions. And then if you're familiar with the fourth dimension and the astral realm, these are a bit of topics. Not it is, and it's not really. It's kind of not the easiest for some people who don't know about it, because it's but it's once you open that door, it's really interesting to think beyond what are we if creation, which we know creation exists. What is creation? What is reality? What is this realm we're in? Why do we sleep? Where does our mind go? Right. So those are just I know a bit of a digression there, but I think those are important things to contemplate with understanding reality in general. Is we have no freaking clue what it is. We exist here in this realm, but if you think about parallel universes and different stuff.
I think the problem is not with reality. I think it's the problem with the concept of believing. Okay, of you define yourself differently. What is believing for yourself? Okay, because you tell yourself, okay, if I used to believe what people told me, okay, for lots of years, and now I'm like reducing all of this information out of my head or out of my believing concept. So I think that you just got left with your senses and what you get out of them, and this is the only thing that you can be actually believing in and actually be trusted on just your senses. This is and this is what you got left off, but it's a whole plenty. Okay, people don't realize it's a whole plenty. Okay, for you to that your senses are absolutely
trust your heart. Yeah. Trust your heart.
Absolutely accurate to understand this reality and to get with your instincts. I think you're what is this God and what is this creation, and you don't need anyone to tell you what it is. Okay, this is just like it is. Anyway,
it's within, right? And as within, so without. So I think it's a really good point you make. Yeah, we need to trust our own senses, and just to go back to Tesla for a quick minute before I wanted to bring it up is like with him and with the healing fields stuff that he was into is to help you also for your body to balance itself to allow you to feel these senses is to get rid of all the toxins in your body. So learning to get antioxidants and to cleanse your body, to heal yourself, that is going to help you progress further into using your senses and squeegee your third eye, kind of thing. And Tesla himself knew it was all about basically the healing fields of nature, and he used what's called the electromagnetic pulse therapy system, and it would basically using electromagnetics pulsating through the body would help stimulate the body and work through your blood cells and actually cleanse your body. It was very, very healthy. It's well known to cure cancer. It's well known to cure bone injuries and stuff, right? And like healing the body in general. They won't admit in the mainstream that it actually cures cancer, but it's been well known to prove that. Of course, they just legalized it recently in the last few years in Canada to use this machine for pain relief and stuff, right? But once you get starting to get your body comfortable, then you can help actually start getting your mind comfortable to start really perceiving this everything, right? So some people may be stuck in one area, but I would encourage people to really focus on your body, your health, understand that what's going on with the skies and the vaccines and our nutrition. But again, the guys like Tesla, it's a really interesting topic to get into because we barely scratched the surface with him and kind of digressed. But I just wanted to bring it back to him for a second because he knew a lot of things, and he also did a lot of meditation and studying and spent his time, I should say, in the forests and stuff, understanding like the how we resonate in this world is very important, and we resonate better and we vibrate on much higher levels when we cleanse our body, when we are ourselves, get rid of all the crap that's controlling us, not just the television, the media, and science stuff. It's your mind, it's your own personal change that you have holding you back. And so go for walks in the forest, go enjoy the resonance of the trees, because trees are such a beautiful thing, and they very much have their own frequency, just like water does too. Yeah. Being in water has, sometimes you go by the lake to meditate, to be calm, because the water has its own frequency, and it brings you down to vibrate on more a clear thought pattern, I think. So just to throw that in there about making sure people understand that take care of yourself first, right? And you will proceed a lot into the world a lot more clear.
Okay, great. Let's get back towards the end of our interview to reality, and tell us about Texas. What's gonna be over there? What you're gonna do over there? And because I'm actually jealous that I can't go over there. I wish so much that I will have time and money and whatever to get there. So tell us what's your plans, and make us jealous. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. I feel lucky. I've been to 3 conferences now. This will be my 4th one, and literally this will be like 3 within the last couple of months that I'm going to. And I'm excited. Yeah, I'm leaving on Tuesday. I'm going to help out on staff as well, so I'll be helping them do whatever needs to be done as well. But I'm going to be doing activism there. We're going to do activism on the Wednesday, And we also have an Airbnb with a group of us, and we're probably going to do more activism after the conference on the Saturday as well. Just within Texas, probably Dallas, maybe try to get to Houston. I'm not sure if we can make it there or not, because I would love to get down to Houston to at least see it. But yeah, I'm looking forward. I've already had the chance to meet a lot of the speakers, a lot of the people going, and this is the granddaddy of conferences. Really, I think they're expecting at least 900 people, probably more. A lot of big names are going to be showing up, it seems. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be a part of it. Excited to help out and just vibrate with like-minded people, right? Because again, when you're in Amsterdam, you feel finally other people who think kind of similar, aware of the world, and when you're amongst people like that, these types of events, you just become more and more comforting, and you're going to want to get out and be with them. I can't even really afford to go myself, but you know what? I got good credit and stuff, so you know what? It's like, hell, I'm going. Screw it, right? I got a ticket in for helping, so I got Cami helped me get in for free, so I just had to pay my plane ticket and rooming. So it's just making it happen, because again, when you start going into these meetups or hanging out with people at the conventions, you get addicted to it, right? Most people sometimes are still afraid to go out even just to a meetup or an event, but I guarantee you, once you go to one, you get hooked. You want to go.
I tell you what, I actually met my first flat earther in person exactly half a year ago. I did we had this whole awakening over here after the Bereshit spacecraft got crashed or whatever that was over there, and afterwards I decided that I will make a meeting at my living room, at my place. To Flat Earthers, to Israeli Flat Earthers. It was the first meeting of a group like that, and it was. And came something like 10 or 15 of them to my living room, and this was
that's a good number.
And this was the first time that we actually, that I actually met in person other flat earthers that think like me, and it was such a thrilling moment for me. Just to after all the people that you talked with that says you're crazy and everything, suddenly you talk to a person about this thing and he actually agrees with you, and it's like whoa, it's just I don't know, just a good feeling, regardless of what is true or not.
Yep, absolutely.
So anyway,
that's not a bad turnout for your first little meetup. Definitely, it's hard to get people to come out. So if you're in a position where you can bring people together, I think that's amazing. I myself, kind of similar, always just trying to bring people together. I think that's also just kind of where my role is in the Flat Earth, is just connecting people, right? I find I'm that middleman.
You mentioned the zodiac before. Which kind of zodiac are you? Which sign?
I'm Virgo.
Virgo.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Virgo. Yeah, and it's something I haven't actually done enough research into it. I definitely, it's on my list of things. There's tons of things I need to look into. There's so much I'm learning, and definitely, I know you're really familiar with it as well. I heard your conversation with Lisa there in Amsterdam. As I was trying to listen in the background, but I would love to get a one-on-one with a little more on this with people, and just to study and learn more. I know people personally all had their charts read, birth times, exact dates, and everything, and so much correlation comes out of that, right? And it's I'm a firm believer in that for sure, yeah. But I'm not versed enough to know. To know enough.
Just in a nutshell, the thing is that I used to lecture a little bit about astrology. I used to be involved with that, but I always got stuck in the technical aspect of it. I didn't realize how the hell those stars, which are millions of miles away from us, are their angles and whatever are sending rays to our planet to receive them and to have a good or crappy day. So I didn't get this part, but once I discovered flat Earth, it all make perfect sense for me, because I told myself, okay, the stars are not way up there. They are somewhere in this firmament. They are close by.
In the firmament, yeah.
Yeah, they're close by, and if they're close by and they can interact with us, with us humans, and we can receive their energies, and their position is probably changed in some way. And if it's a thing like that receives energy and outputs energies, so you can just call it a machine, a great machine of stars that kind of creates some kind of energy that we get these effects from them with our personality, with our everyday occasions,
Absolutely.
and when it's like approachable, when it's like a thing, you tell yourself, okay, the stars are over here, they're approachable. It changes your concept. You say to yourself, okay, I know I can see in everyday life that astrology is true and correct, okay? But now, if they are close by, I can actually justify it in even, I will say the cursed word, in a scientific way, okay? You can even like try to measure it, okay? You can try to I don't know, feel it in a more like close way, and actually it reinforces both your faith in astrology and in flat Earth combined. So,
Absolutely.
so if you want astrology session, we can do that in the next interview. In I don't know, earlier hours of the night. It's over here. It's like 2 a.m. already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like 7 o'clock here.
Oh yeah, 7 p.m. Okay, good. So anyway,
Definitely, I do
the
find that the whole thing with the stars is quite amazing. Yeah, I mean, and just quickly, what is your thoughts, and what do you think the stars are? Specifically, just energy. I mean, because when you look into like cymatics or solar luminescence types of things, is it our energy reflected there, or is it that energy reflects us? Yeah, I mean, any thoughts as to are they physical things, or they is it? I mean, we really can't know these things,
I
right?
think it's like a part of a machine. Okay, I think that the whole firmament, or maybe our entire Earth, is like one big machine that the Creator Himself created, and this machine is
A big
like,
Tesla coil.
yeah, it's like it's operating all the time, and it's not only the stars. It's also like the sun and the moon and whatever. If you want a quick anecdote, okay, that I kind of like discovered lately. If you remember correctly, the last day that we were together in Amsterdam, it was also the New Year's in Israel. Okay, I kind of like
Yeah.
hosted it for the Jewish New Year's, which is called the Rosh Hashanah. And it's always, are you familiar a little bit with the lunar calendar? The lunar calendar?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so in the lunar calendar, it's always like in the beginning of the month, on the first day of the month, you have no moon in the sky. Okay, and on the middle of and it gets like you see like in the first days of the month, you see like a banana shaped on the right side, and then you see the moon covers completely on the middle of the month, and then on the end of the month, it's like a banana shape on the left side. Okay, and the
Which
new
which that makes no sense in the heliocentric model, right?
yeah.
When the sun's on the other side of the supposed
Yeah,
globe.
yeah, 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 yeah. No sense at all. But the thing is that the first day of the month, the Rosh Hashanah, the New Year's, it's on the first of Tishrei, okay? And 10 days afterwards, it's the Yom Kippur, it's like the judgment day of Israelis. It's like the holiest day, whatever. And those days between Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur are described as the 10 horrible days, the 10 days of answer. And it has another, I got like this year, a friend of mine told me another expression that I got for those 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. It's called Ben Kse LeAsor. Now, Asor, it's like 10, it's the number 10. And
Okay.
it symbolizes the tenth of the month. Okay, and kse is the word that describes the first of the month, but it's not the word one. Okay,
Okay.
kse, the meaning of it in Hebrew is either a cover or a lid. Okay, of something, of like a bottle or something like that.
So it's almost like something covering the moon in a sense.
Exactly. Meaning that the Jewish people, the ancient one that kind of like invented the lunar calendar, they watched the moon and they saw the reason that the moon is shown in different shapes and different sizes is because there's a cover or a lid that covers him in the sky. Okay. This is what they saw. This is how they interpreted that in their language and in their calendar. Okay, that they actually saw like there's another object in the sky that covers the moon. Okay, It's very interesting.
It's like similar to the north sorry, northwest nodes, like the Rahu Ketu kind of thing.
I don't know.
Or like they, or just like a not yeah, because those are foreign bodies. I think essentially is what it's thought of anyway. But yeah, just the idea of that, is there dark bodies up there, or is it like an actually
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lens cover or something? Yeah,
yeah.
it's
If it's like a projection,
interesting to think about.
yeah, if it's like a projection, so imagine like the guy with the projector on the bottom, and is like covering the lens with a lid each time or something like that, you know?
Yeah. Did you see the moon last night? Actually, I think tonight should be pretty bright too, isn't it? The is it the tonight's supposed to be the or tomorrow is going to be the big one, isn't it?
Oh,
The moon, the full moon.
yeah, I heard about. No, it's not the thing that the star is passing through the sun or something like that. I think it's in a couple of days or so.
Yeah, I think tomorrow. I think yeah, but I was just even observing the moon the last couple of nights, like yesterday and the night before. It was quite bright. I'm not sure from your view where you are, but yeah, it's definitely looks pretty obvious that it's projecting its own light.
You can actually see the moon with all the clouds you got over there in Canada. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
and it completely illuminates. Yeah, all the
Yeah.
chemtrails do. It completely illuminates the whole area. So I mean, it's and when you start to go into flat Earth, you start looking, differently at the sky, right? I remember when I first came into flat Earth, I couldn't stop looking up and just thinking, "Holy shit, it's right there. What does this mean?" And you can
Those
see how
huge light
local it is.
bulbs.
Yeah, it's like okay. Wow, are we really in some kind of Truman Show kind of thing, right? Yeah, it's definitely interesting to talk about this. I would love to have a conversation and learn more as well. I'd definitely soak in whatever knowledge you can pass on
Sure, and
as well.
in more saint hours of the night, and
Absolutely, yeah.
sure. And it's been a pleasure, Johnny. I really had a good time talking with you. You are a fascinating man, and of course, I've have lots of fun in the convention in Dallas. If you see anyone over there who is interested to come and host in our Ash News, so spread the word. I will love to interview everyone.
Yeah, I will.
Mhm. And of course, send my regards to everyone over there, especially to Paul on the plane. I'm kind of like missing him and everything.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. I like
Yeah.
Paul. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. Yeah, he's good people.
Mhm.
I know you had a few interviews with quite a bit of people from the convention in Amsterdam,
It
right?
was the greatest gift I got from this trip, and for me personally, I used to admire, I still am admire Jeranism, and for me to interview him in person, it was like a very exciting moment for me.
Right on.
Cool. So we will continue on the good work, and we'll continue on the interviews. Maybe after you come back from Dallas or whatever, and
Yeah.
have a good time. Have a good night and good evening,
I
whatever.
will, yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on, and it was always a pleasure. It was great to meet you in Amsterdam, and yeah, we'll look forward to talking to you in the future for sure. We'll have a post Aldous talk or something, and anyone I do, I'll mention that wants to do some interviews. Maybe we'll talk to you. I would maybe, there's a few other big names I can mention if you have any specific ones, people that are attending the conference, and you'd like me to mention to them. Let me know.
Everyone.
Yeah, everyone, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure David Weiss. Maybe I think he would
Oh,
be an interesting
yeah.
conversation with you because especially him with the app and everything. I'll mention it to him for sure. But yeah, it was great talking to you. So I gotta go and do some research and learn some or like of your previous videos. I didn't get a chance to check out any of the interviews you
Oh,
had. So
yeah, no,
is
no,
that all
check.
on the YouTube?
Yeah, check on the YouTube, the Ash News. We got like the great materials coming on. And my personal recommendation, there is like a show over there which is in Hebrew, but we added the subtitles. It was my Ash show before we got like Ash News. We had an Ash show, and it was the final chapter that we did. It was on Satan himself.
Okay.
It's an whole episode about Satan and his work over here, and it's
Maybe you
hilarious.
can. So I was gonna say maybe you can send me the link for that
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Uh,
sure. And I think that it's like a show that I personally enjoy doing because I believe that Satan himself appeared on this show, and we had a guest over there that got into kind of like a frenzy over there in this broadcast.
Really?
So yeah, watch it. It's you won't regret. And
Okay, yeah, I will for sure. Yeah.
Good.
We got to get you some more subscribers there too on their channel.
Yeah. We desperately need one. Some. Yeah, sure.
I'll pass it around for sure, absolutely, and appreciate the time.
Good. All right, Johnny. Have a good evening, and it was a pleasure. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.